This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. Even before the Alabama U.S. Senate election earlier this week, which presented a big upset, there was a flurry of new candidates filing for office in Arkansas this next year, particularly on the Democratic side. One of those young upstarts is joining me now. His name is Chintan Desai. He is running for the 1st Congressional District as a Democrat. Welcome to the program. Good to have you.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Tell me why you decided this was the year that you should run.
Yeah, so first, again, thank you for having me. I decided to throw my hat in the ring because I love Arkansas and because I'm tired. I'm tired of the people that I work with, my colleagues, my neighbors, people that I'm close to in Helena, working incredibly hard just to get by and never getting ahead. I'm tired of people working in this country 40 or more hours per week just to make ends meet and still living in poverty. Congressman Crawford is an individual who has voted with an administration 90% of the time that has looked to roll back some of the protections for working class families. And I think that Arkansans, and particularly East Arkansans, deserve a representative who can uplift families who have an interest in doing that, have experience in doing that, and I think I'm that person.
You've got some background in education. You live in Helena, as you mentioned, so tell me a little bit about what you do in Helena, or what you have done in Helena over the course of your career.
Yeah, so I moved to Helena in 2010 to teach. I taught 5th grade social studies, and I've since stuck around at that same school district that's focused on moving students to and through college, and we've had some pretty good success in doing so. Yeah. About 44% of our graduates have graduated from college in 6 years, which is quadrupling the national low-income average.
Yeah. What did you think when you first came to Helena, Arkansas? You probably had some thoughts of what it was going to be like, and then just and maybe how it's even become more than what you thought.
Yeah, it certainly was different from where I grew up. I grew up in California, the son of Indian immigrants who moved to this country for a better future. And I went to K through 12 public school in California, and then moved after college to Arkansas to teach. And my whole interest was in trying to give back to communities. It certainly, like I said, was different than anything I had expected. At the same time, I met people there, continue to meet people there who are some of the kindest, most caring individuals, and I see a real opportunity there to make significant change.
And I'm jealous because you get some of that great barbecue from the region over there that I have to go hunt and peck to find here. All right, let's talk about this past week. We've seen the outcome in the Alabama Senate race. There have been a lot of other special elections over the course of this past year that have presented opportunities for Democrats and has changed the political dynamic significantly. Did Alabama specifically, or have some of these other races, has it changed kind of the dynamic in your race? What have you seen since maybe Tuesday night?
Yeah, so the perspective that I have on that is perhaps some of these races where people are categorizing them as safe Republican seats or solid Republican seats, perhaps they're not the hyper-partisan races that we all might think they are. That people really do care about some of these bread and butter issues. Are they getting enough food? Do they have security in terms of their economic prosperity? Are their kids getting better opportunities? And for my race in particular, let's take that for example. In 2010, that's when it shifted to being a safe Republican seat. But for many years before that, it was a safe Democratic seat. So many of the older voters there have actually changed parties in their lifetime. So I see an opportunity there. I see an opportunity to connect with voters in a way that on issues that really matter to them.
Let's talk about a big issue that resonated a lot in the news cycle this past week is net neutrality. We've seen a lot of activity there. The FCC, in a 3-2 vote, changes the rules on this. I think you've got a strong opinion on maybe where things should go. Should Congress step in?
Absolutely. I mean, the decision was an abomination. And we're talking about a country and a society where we already have inequalities. We already have access issues. I see that in a rural community like Helena. And to make this barrier or create this barrier where internet companies can charge even more for the purpose of getting those corporations an extra buck is a shame. So I very strong opinion on that.
All right, we'll see you talking about that some. Let's talk about tax cuts, the other big conversation that's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. Yeah. It looks like there is a conference bill starting to take shape. There will be some significant reduction in corporate income taxes. There will be some higher income tax relief. There is some middle income tax relief in this package as well. What's wrong with giving middle income earners 10 years worth of tax breaks?
Yeah, the problem is it's 10 years, and in some amount of time that we're going to see middle and low income earners actually pay way more than they are now. We know that 44% of the tax cuts are actually going to go to the richest 1%. And I think for those conservative folks who have issues with the national debt, the premise of this bill is faulty. We haven't had 3% national growth in a long time, and it's simple economics. You have more money going out than coming in, then that's only going to raise our already huge national debt.
Yeah, but there is going to be some middle income tax relief, even if it is for a sunset period of time, 10 years. Is that necessarily a bad thing, or are you just advocating there shouldn't be those tax cuts at the top? They should be more concentrated in the middle.
I mean, I would argue that there are higher income earners who actually should be paying much more. I don't necessarily think that, I don't think the middle income tax rates are a bad thing. I think that we need to be focusing on the higher income earners.
Yeah. All right, he's Chintan Desai. He is running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. Good to meet you.
Very good to meet you.
All right, hope to have some more conversations with you through the course of the campaign.
Thank you.